Okay, so let's quickly recall. Medyo I think 2 weeks ago when we had our last discussion, recall lang natin what we have done last time. So let me write some comments here. So let's have some quick recall of what we have done. First, let's start to recall kung anong pinag-usapan natin, particularly with how we define moments. So if we have a moment, so let's consider a random variable x. So let x be a random variable. So the rth moment, kasi we will do some computations about this later. The rth moment is defined as follows. So ang symbol na gagamitin natin, mu sub r, this is just the expectation of x raised to some r power. So meaning, kukunin mong expectation ng r mo, ng x raised to r mo. So again, this can be defined either of the two. Kung discrete ang distribution mo, this is the sum of your variable x raised to r times the probability distribution. Okay? Or integral of x raised to r times the probability distribution dx if your random variable is continuous. So that's the first one. I-recall natin. Second, if we have the rth moment, so we now define again yung tinatawag na moment generating function. In many literature, shortcut na itong ginagamit nila. They call this MGF. So, or actually, there's a separate topic in combinatorics, yung tinatawag na moment generating function. I think I could share you that book kasi it's a good problem book in combinatorics. But may mga questions doon and particular solutions. I can share this to you later. So, sa moment generating function naman, our random variable is a function. So, ang dinidefine natin na function is the exponential of x such that we define the MGF of your random variable e raised to x is we use the functional symbol. So parameterize siya with with the letter t. Tapos this is just the expectation of e raised to x. Or in other words, isusulat talaga natin again ito. So if it's discrete, this is the summation of e raised to x times the probability distribution. Kung continuous, palitan mo lang yung x ng e raised to x times the probability distribution dx. So, yan. So that's the idea. Kasi if you are requested to do computations, in particular with looking for the mean and the variance of a particular statistical distribution, mas madali siyang i-compute itong klaseng notation for the moment generating function kasi yung expectation or the mean of your random variable is just the first derivative of your moment generating function pero evaluated at t equals 0. So that's the first one. But if you compute for the variance, i-recall lang natin ang computation ng variance or recall the variance of x is just the expectation of x squared minus the quantity expectation of x squared. So, kailangan mong i-compute ang expectation of x squared or the second moment. But in the moment generating function, yung second moment mo is the second derivative with respect to your moment generating, with respect to t, evaluated at t equals 0. So once na meron ka ng, ito yung idea, so therefore you can compute for the variance. So on and so forth. So ito yung mga techniques or formulas that we will be needing when we are to compute for your mean and variances. So this time, gagawin natin for today, we are to enumerate all of the statistical distributions that are famous. Pero kasi when you're talking about statistical distribution, there are so many that is found in literature. Pero ito yung mga basic na many people knows about this. So if you have a data set, for example, tapos you consider your data set as values of a random variable or a random process, yung tinatawag nila informal. Kukunin mong distribution, so kukunin mong histogram yan, anong magiging itsura niya. So question, anong klaseng distribution would best fit that data set? So for tonight, medyo ang gagawin natin, medyo baliktad. So we need to look at ano mga famous na mga statistical distribution. And as much as possible in the future when we do statistical analysis, when you do experiments, when you do analysis of your data sets, naghahanap ka ng magandang statistical distribution that would best fit your data. So sa ngayon, let me introduce you to some of these. And I think na introduce ko na many of these with you in the past. Okay, so let's start with the discrete distribution. By the way, Joshua, just interrupt me kung in case may mga questions ka or clarifications. Pero
Meron
sa
yan,
ngayon,
meron ba yan
yes, yes po.
binigay na homework?
Opo. So, i-insert ko lang po, I think ito yung homework na binigay ko sa'yo.
Opo.
Ayan, Joshua.
Opo.
May sagot ka na ba? Sige,
Opo.
sige, sige nga. Sige, bago ako mag-proceed sa discrete distribution, sige, gusto ko makita yung computation mo
Sige,
ng exercise na to. So, please go ahead.
open ko lang po yung boards. In, continue.
So, while you're preparing for the board, I bet you can share, agawin mo lang yung pag-share screen. So while you are preparing, ito yung klaseng distribution nito. This is not a discrete distribution. This is a continuous distribution kasi yung variable x mo is a continuous type of data set. So
Mm.
ang pagko-compute ng expectation of variances using the moment generating function. So mako-compute mo siya using your moment generating. So you are to integrate. Ayan. So I'm now seeing your screen. Okay, go. Sige, tignan natin. Can you quickly explain?
Uh, Wala ba? So, pasensya na po, bahay na ano ko yung boses. So, ito yung function na. So, the expectation of ito yung e to the x tapos to the t. So, the integral from 0 to infinity kasi 0 naman siya hanggang infinity lang po na yung possible.
Yes.
Hindi naman siya over that. So, anyway, pag pwede naman po i-simplify ito kasi yung dalawang so ganito t minus lambda. Tapos yung ano na lang, integration na basic. So, baba to, tapos kasi kung i-differentiate siya dito, dapat will go here. So, to mess. So, in-account for yon. So, over t minus lambda. Tapos, evaluate from 0 to infinity. So, yung limit nito, when it's mga ano po na, mga malapit na sa infinity, magiging ano na po, magiging 0 na to.
Yes, okay.
Tapos, minus, pwede naman i-reset yan.
Mm-mm.
May naman. So, tapos pag 0 naman, to the 0, so 1. Okay, so
Pero,
minus 1.
pero I need you to take note na yung anong klaseng t minus lambda meron ka. Because if it's always positive, so as t goes to infinity, di ba, it goes to infinity, then ang exponential mo. So the only way that this is true kung ang t minus lambda mo is negative.
Hmm. Wait lang ba? Okay na.
Di ba, it's an exponential. Kung positive ang exponent, it increases. Pero kung ang exponent mo is negative, minus x times x, So goes to negative siya. So meaning, kailangan mo ng t minus lambda to be, yun ang magiging condition. So the only condition you need is that your t minus lambda must be less than zero. So in other words, you're saying t is less than lambda.
Hmm. Meron ba magkasabi na? Wala, hindi ko nakita yan.
Ayan.
Meron bang two? Honestly, di ko alam paano kaya masabing 100% na T is nasa lambda.
It's
Uh,
a condition. Condition lang yan siya.
kung if it's greater than lambda, paano yan?
Uh, so yun na. Meaning to say you just set it to zero. Yun lang naman ang kailangan mo. So parang conditional or indicator function. So if it satisfies the condition that t minus lambda is less than zero, or your t is less than lambda, so yun ang condition ng mga t na kailangan mo for your moment generating function. When in fact, actually, makikita mo yan sa moment generating mo yung lambda over lambda minus t, na kailangan mong buo to be all of that to be positive.
Okay. Laba.
Ang condition kasi dyan ni lambda, it's always positive. Although hindi ko siya sinulat as an exercise, pero si lambda is always positive dyan.
Yun. So, anyway, so -1. So, yung T minus lambda ma-inverse. So, lambda over lambda minus T yung pala.
That's correct.
So, expectation na naman to is yung ano nga po, yung derivative, evaluate at T equals 0. So, paano kong ginawa to? Yung negative T, aakyat may negative 1 lang. Tapos, wait paano kaya na?
Ano?
Gawa ko.
Low
Ito.
D high, high D low.
Pwede naman yata pong hindi yata. Pwede naman pong ano na, product ba?
Pwede
Pwede.
din product.
Pwede rin pong ano, yung ano. So, yung low, ito, lambda minus t to squared. Pero
Mm-mm.
negative kasi nasa denominator. Kaso na low d high. So, minus d high. Minus high, So, negative lambda kasi negative yung sa ilalim. Negative t. Okay.
With respect to T naman siya kasi.
So, anyway, so maka-cancel yung negative, lambda over lambda minus t squared naman siya.
That's
When
correct.
zero, zero naman to. So, may lambda squared lang. So, 1 over lambda yung expectation
That's
naman.
right. Tama yan.
Okay, now yung of tx squared. Sabi lang mo. Ano lang mo.
Barado ba yung nasal passage?
Clean nalinis naman po kasi nag-clean kami po ng may saline.
Yun. Okay. So
Otherwise,
parang ang
mata
nasal, ano yan? Lavage?
Apo, ang daming natatanggal eh. Kung otherwise talagang ano tataas yung fever po pagka
Mm-hmm.
lang siya yung mga ano po. Tsaka needs for infection bale.
Okay, so anyway, yung ano, yung the derivative of this naman, kasi ano to na, hindi ako makasulat for some reason dito only lang siya, sayang. Anyway, so ito na lambda times quantity of lambda minus t to the negative 2. So negative
Mm-hmm.
2 tapusan yung chain rule is negative lambda tapusan siya mismo mag ano sa negative 3 bababa yung exponent niya. So ayun na. So 2 lambda over quantity of lambda minus t cube. Tapos ano ba yung t is equal to 0, lambda lang yon. So, lambda cube. So, therefore, lambda over lambda cube, 2 over lambda squared. So,
All
anyway,
right.
yung variance is ito, 2 minus lambda squared minus the square of the expectation, which is 1 over lambda. So, 2 over lambda squared minus 1 over lambda squared equals 1 over lambda squared.
All right. That's correct. So tama yung mga computations. And actually, we will have a quick discussion of that sa sunod. Ngayon kasi puro tayo discrete distribution. Pero this is an example of a distribution na meron kang continuous random variable. So this is an exponential distribution. Okay, very good. So at least na-compute mo na. Thank you, Joshua.
Okay.
All right. So let me now go back to my screen and let's continue yung what we have started earlier. So continuous distribution tayo, discrete distribution, but in particular, we'd start with the very basic, yung pinakauna na distribution, which is the discrete uniform distribution. Okay, so let's have an example para at least you could see this. And I've tried to generate a code for this to come up with a discrete distribution. Let me show it to you. Are, ito. If you can now see, I'll be running this using MATLAB. So sa discrete distribution natin, we are to consider 10 sample point, 1,000 sample points. Tapos gusto natin mag-generate ng isang uniform distribution from 1 to 10. Meaning to say, ilang ones ang lalabas, ilang twos ang lalabas, hanggang ilang tens ang lalabas. For a uniform distribution from the word uniform, so meaning dapat almost pare-pareho ang mga distribution. So we can randomly generate this. So let's generate this
Pwede mo pala
distribution.
Ito, kung yung random lang, hindi ba po pseudo random 'yon? Is it
Ang
random?
ang usual na mga random na mga distributions that we see in Excel, for example, even in Python, yung rand na command,
Opo.
it's always uniform. Uniform yung pagpipili niya ng mga distribution. I'll show it to you para makita mo dito. Like sa Excel. Let me open Excel para at least you can see this. Sana yung Excel. Pero ano pa rin siya? Parang actually, alam naman wala to familiar ka naman sa mga random generation ng mga codes, 'di ba? Ng mga techniques. Ang wala naman talagang may masasabi nating tunay na random kasi it is all still governed by some statistical techniques or some random generator na mga gumagamit ng mga prime numbers for you to come up with a number. So halimbawa, let me show it here sa Excel. Sa Excel ang
kung ano po yung Cloudflare yung paggawa. Is it truly random? Kung let's say if I use a picture of yung mga lava lamp, kumbaga yung something na truly random, is it still pseudo random to some extent? Or true random?
Kasi if you are to really conduct with a random selection, so meaning halimbawa if you do an experiment at pipili ka ng mga participants mo or subject of your whatever study you are conducting, yung tunay na random normally dalawang klase yan eh. Is it with replacement or without replacement? So halimbawa, you have a fishbowl, kaya ang tawag doon nila fishbowl sampling. You have a fishbowl, ilalagay mo lahat-lahat ng mga samples mo sa isang bowl, tapos sabihin mo, kukuha ka ng 100, and then you randomly select, kukuha ka lang sa bowl na yon, assuming pare-pareho yung mga sizes ng paper, pare-pareho yung mga dimension niya, na ikaw mismo visually, wala kang bias na i-judge yun, yung kung anong pipiliin mo. So, kung kukunin mo siya, once you consider the sample at hindi mo na siya ibabalik, ang tawag doon without replacement. Pero kung ibabalik mo siya ulit, tapos kukuha ka ulit from that sample, ang tawag yun with replacement. So ito yung usual na ang masasabi ko talagang random selection of samples. Pero when generating now random numbers, mga numbers na talaga, normally we are still dependent on whatever algorithm that is used to come up with a random number. So in this case, ito, sa mga codes na ipapakita ko sa iyo, it's actually generated by the statistical distribution mismo. So in MATLAB, for example, sa MATLAB natin, right, close ko lang dito, pala. Ito yung rand I, meaning to say you are to generate a random number integer from 1 to 10, and you will do it 1,000 times. So it is actually defined na ng uniform distribution. So meaning to say parang for you to come up with a random number, so i-base mo siya sa distribution na that is already known. So for instance, di ba, kapunta tayo dito sa Excel. So for example, sa Excel, ang command na ginagamit rand, ganito. So it will select a random number from 0 to 1. So for example, ito naman, another one. So ito yung command na ginagamit. Lakihan ko siya. Ayan. And so on. Another one. Sige, para this you can see this. So ito yung command na ginagamit. So it will generate random numbers from 0 to 1. So let's try to increase this. Increase natin to say 1,000. I-drag ko to ha. So let me see. 1,000 nito. And then let's try to, yan. Ito yung mga random numbers from 0 to 1. Tapos gagawin natin, let's try to look at it, kung anong histogram niya, anong distribution nito. Insert. So let me come up with the histogram nito. Mapapansin mo, napaka-uniform ng itsura niya. So we mentioned, di ba, there are 1,000 of this and the numbers from 0 to 1. So when you are to consider ilan to, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 na mga blockings, ng pag-group of them together, makikita mo napaka-flat niya lang. So meaning to say, the random numbers mostly that we are generating is actually based on a uniform distribution. So do you get this, Joshua?
Aba.
Ayun. So yun lang naman siya. Actually, wala naman talagang tunay na random because equally likely yung ano mo dito pagpipili ng mga numbers. Pero this because we assume this to be uniformly distributed. So in this case with our code dito, so we mention na from 1 to 10, so you are to select 1,000 samples and then makikita mo na almost 100 each yung bawat numerical representation that we have in this diagram. And now, to mathematically, when you're talking about uniform distribution, meaning to say, ang gagawin mo, you try to imagine this distribution, halimbawa. So, di ba? 1,000 to lahat-lahat. Kung ilan ang bawat isa dito, divided by 1,000. So, ganun din dito. So, ilan to lahat-lahat, divide mo 1,000 yung bawat isang mga bars dyan of your histogram, then you will have your probability distribution na to represent this type of data. So in fact, actually, in this case, for our probability distribution, in our examples, tingnan natin, parang na-off ang pen ko. Ayan. For our PDF, probability distribution function, yung function natin, f of x, may isa siyang parameter, meaning to say, ilang beans ang gusto mo, na ilan sila lahat-lahat. So this is just equal to 1 over n. So meaning, dapat pareho siya. All in all, kung ilang beans, ilang numbers, ilang random variables na meron kayo. For all x from 1 to big N. Okay, so dapat pare-pareho siya. So ang question, based on this probability density function, how will you compute for the mean and variance? So it's either you will use the long computation or you can also use the MGF, the moment generating function. So either of which. So una, let's compute for the expected value of this random variable. So again, this is discrete, Joshua. So therefore, we are to take the summation of your x's, where your x is from 0 to n, capital N, times the probability distribution. Ang probability distribution mo is times 1 over n. Okay. So, now, let's compute. Compute natin ito. So, this is just 1 over n, wala kang index na x. So, therefore, we could separate this ang 1 over n. And you are to look for the summation of x, where x is from 0 to n. This is a very familiar na parang, not 0, sorry. Hindi sa 0 mag-umpisa. We will start with 1. So, sorry, let me correct this. Isa. Okay. So this is 1, 1. So can you tell me what's the sum of the summation of x from 1 to n, or 1 plus 2 plus 3 hanggang n?
Times x plus 1 over 2.
That is,
X times
ang dulo niya, it's n.
1 over n.
So meron kang,
N times n plus 1.
that's
Over
correct.
2.
Okay, over 2. Yan na. So therefore, if you simplify this, cancel out yung n, so you end up with n plus 1 divided by 2, which is tama naman. That's correct. Kasi gagawin mo lang naman kung ano yung pinakamataas na number, add that, then kunin mo yung half nun. So that's equal to the mean, yung pinakagitnang value. For in this case, kung ito yung distribution mo from 1 to 10, so ang gitna niya is 5.5. So sa gitna nito. Okay. How about the variance? So, variance naman natin. So we can compute the long method for the variance, but you can as well compute for the moment generating function. But first, to compute for the variance, kailangan mo ang the second moment. So that's E, the expected value of x squared. So this is just the sum of x squared times 1 over n, where your x is from 1 to n, big N. So now again, this is just 1 over n times the summation of x squared, where your x is from 1 to n. This is as well a very familiar formula na ginagamit natin. Meaning, you are to add the squares of each of the numbers. 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared hanggang plus n squared. So can you tell me if you know the formula ng summation na ito, Joshua? So I'll just wait for you, Joshua.
Ano ba? I forgot. Ano po na? I think it's n squared times n plus 2 ba? May ano po na.
Ito siya. Let me write na 1 squared plus 2 squared plus 3 squared and so on up to capital N squared. So ano yan? Kanina nasagot mo yung 1 plus 2 kasi very famous to.
Kasi over 2, yung next is over 6 po na. N plus 1 times
That's correct.
times what? 2
N times N plus 1.
2n plus 1 nata po.
That's correct. Okay. Ito hanggang ngayon, hindi ko alam kung paano to na-derive eh. Pero I know how to prove this kasi it is using mathematical induction. Pero yung isa naman ito ma-derive mo yan eh because babaliktarin mo lang yung 1 plus 2 plus 3 up hanggang n, babaliktarin mo n plus n minus 1 up to plus 2 plus 1. So makukuha mo ng formula. So ito para I think best guess para makuha tong formula. But that's correct. Tama yung answer mo. So you will have 1 times n times n plus 1 times 2n plus 1 all over 6. Okay. So cancel out. So you are left with an n plus 1 times 2n plus 1 over 6. Okay. So all in all, so when you are to compute for the variance of your x, so again, yung formula natin, this is just the second moment minus the square of the first moment. Yan. So you substitute what your x squared is, n plus 1 times 2n plus 1 divided by 6 minus, so meron kang n plus 1 quantity squared divided by 4. So, yan. But again, less common denominator, so on and so forth. So I'll just leave this to you. I think ang final answer dito, it's n plus 1 times 2n plus 1 over, not 2n plus 1, 2n minus 1, at n minus 1 pala, over 12. So sorry, this is 6 pala. Sorry, this is 6. And this is over 12. So just confirm na lang yung magiging solution nito. Okay, so that's it for the discrete uniform distribution. When in fact, actually, again, this is the most common way to look for randomization of your variable. I'm not sure humina yung internet ko. But am I audible naman ba, Joshua?
Abo.
Okay. Sige. All right. So now next. So number 2 tayo. This is just a review, yung pangalawa, because these have been our examples several times. So let's talk about quickly lang about the Bernoulli and binomial distribution. Okay. So una, with the Bernoulli distribution, so the Bernoulli PDF is as follows. So this is just the probability of the following. Take note, may probability of success P ka. So you have how many times ba naging success? So ang variables natin would be either it occurs or it did not occur or it occurs. So you have P raised to X if it occurs. Otherwise, the probability of failure would be 1 minus P raised to 1 minus X. So, yun lang naman. Okay. And the mean and variance nito is as follows. Na-compute na natin ito. This is just P and the variance of X is PQ. And then, nalala ko yung when you answered your exercise na binigay ko sa iyo about the binomial distribution, when you computed for the expected values, naalala ko, it's a repeated Bernoulli distribution. Kaya the expected value of that is just NP and NPQ. So, isulat lang natin dito. So, again, the probability distribution for the binomial distribution is as follows. So, meron ka ng dalawang variable. Number 1, ilang number of trials, ilan beses mo siya inulit yung for you to understand the data. So that's N. And P again is the probability of success. So that the distribution is as follows. N choose X of P raised to X and 1 minus P, or that's Q actually, by the way, I forgot to mention, Q is just 1 minus P dito. Okay. And this is N minus X. And then the combinatorial expression N choose X is just how many ways na ginawa mo siya several times, meaning arrangement ng P's and Q's mo. And distributions are as follows. So you'll have NP and then your variance to be NPQ. Okay. So now let's illustrate this in MATLAB kung anong nagiging itsura nito. So let me show it here. Sana yan? Ayan. Let me close this. So clear ko lang to sa taas muna. So let's talk about ito, yung binomial distribution. First, let's consider how many number of trials. Ilang beses mo siya uulitin. Say 50. And you are to consider 1,000 samples. You can go as much as bigger kung ilang sample na gusto mo. Let's consider the probability of your success is half, 50%. So therefore, again, if we are to run this, ito yung ang pagpipili ng random number for your binomial distribution. Ito yung code na ginamit ko for MATLAB. So you can, I'll give this to you kung gusto mo i-download ang MATLAB. MATLAB is paid siya, pero you can use trials. You can use the trial version. I-ano mo lang siya, tawag nito, renew mo lang siya several times.
Pwede pa
Okay.
rin.
By the way, Joshua, I think naka-turn off ang camera mo.
Pila mo. Ano yata?
Tama ba? Or baka mahina lang internet ko. Ayun yun, sorry. Ayun, that's right. Okay. Ano yung sabi mo kanina about sa MATLAB?
Baka pwede po yung pirated.
Actually, kahit mag-download ka na lang diretso sa ano to, sa matlab.com, kasi you can download the trial version and then renew mo lang several times. Kung pirated kasi, I don't know kung saan mo siya i-download, sa torrent ba? Yung problem ko usually dyan is baka may kasamang virus at
Opo.
tapos
O
ma-install
kaya
mo sa computer mo.
O kaya spyware po.
Oh, yan. Yan yung mga ano dyan eh. So kaya ngayon hindi na ako nagda-download ng mga pirated version because of that threat lang sa security. So anyway, let us run this para makita mo anong itsura ng binomial distribution. Let me run this again. So ito yan. So a very nice distribution that look like this. So ito yung itsura niya. So now, pero usually kasi, yung probability of success mo is 50%. So kahit i-increase mo to ng medyo malaki-laki, say for example, let's do this in 1,000 times, tapos sabihin natin ang trials natin, say 500 trials mo gagawin. So let's run this again. Okay. And you have this distribution. So it's a nice, actually, na parang normal distribution siya, normal curve that look like this. When in fact, actually later, we will prove that the binomial distribution is a normal approximation of the normal distribution. As you increase your sample size or number of trials, lalaki ng lalaki. Actually, yung magiging itsura ng shape mo such that, so lakihan natin say, let's have 100,000. Say, gawin natin tong, say 5,000. Let me see, kung mararun niya kagad, so it's still running. So, kasi medyo malaki-laki na yung data set. So, tingnan natin. Ayun na, ayun. So, it looked like a good approximation na nag-curve siya, nagmumukha siyang bell ang distribution nyo. Later, after we discuss about the normal distribution, we will show that this distribution, the binomial distribution, is a normal approximation. Or is the normal approximation of the normal distribution. So yan. So this is an example of the distribution. Litan ko lang, sobrang laki kasi. Baka mag-drag. For example, let's consider maliit yung probability of success mo, say 25% or 0.25. So if we run this, it look like this. So yun. Hindi pa nga siya skewed a bit eh. Hindi siya nag-skewed. So say for example, 0.1%, 0.1 or 10%. So hindi siya nagpumapalit, pero at least it gives us a good idea about our distribution. Okay. Let me see. Malaki kasi pala ang ko. So let me see. Gawin ko tong say 50. Pero maliit lang to. So hindi siya ganun. Ayun, medyo skewed siya a bit yung data set mo. So hindi siya ganun ka-perfectly balanced. So that's the reason why na the bigger the sample or your trial would lead you to a normal shaped data set. Okay. So from the past with your computation, Joshua, do you have any questions about the binomial distribution or the Bernoulli distribution?
Wala naman po.
All right. Okay. So now next, let's see. Ayan. All right. Let's now proceed to ito, bago to, the distribution. This is now called, saan na yan? By the way, may papakita ko sa iyo, Joshua. If you are interested to read our paper sa disease modeling,
Wow.
so pwede mo to i-download. So I'll just send it to you. This is with my student and then a colleague in the university sa College of Medicine. So although part pa rin siya ng college namin. So I'll share this a link to you. So sana yung ang message natin, chat. So you can download this paper para at least you could read what we are doing about disease modeling. Ayan. So download mo lang ang paper na yan. Okay, ngayon lang kasing araw nag-appear ang paper na to.
Wow.
Okay, now next. Tayo. Okay, number 3. The hypergeometric, strong spelling, geometric distribution. Okay. Ito naman, yung distribution na to, it's normally ginagamit siya if you have a probability distribution where you are partitioning your sample set into, say, in this case, dalawang separate sets. Say, for example, if you are interested with, for example, if there are 30 students or individuals or yes, sabi na natin, individuals in a class or students in a class, and you are to consider out of 30 students, 10 doon will be part of the committee. So part siya ng committee. So sa committee na yon will be either a composition of male or a composition of female. Some question, what's the probability you will have a committee na at least may 3 doon lalaki or 4 doon babae? So these are some questions that would require a hypergeometric distribution. So the PDF is as follows. So ito yung probability density function niya. So f of x at ito yung mga parameter mo na kailangan mong i-consider. M, K, and a small n. M and K is actually ang M mo is yung total sample. Yung K mo ang ipapartition mo. Ang N mo is actually yung trial na pagkukuha mo kung ilan sila. Okay? So the hypergeometric distribution look like this. K choose X. Tapos M minus K, choose N minus X, all over all possible combinations. M choose N. So yan, that's the denominator. Kasi we know naman yung denominator palagi natin is the total sample space you will have. So the question, dahil susulat ko pala yung anong mga variables natin. For, una, ang x natin, a random number, a random variable natin, start with 0, 1, 2, and until some n. So, yun ang pinakamarami, n. Tapos yung m mo is a positive integer. Tapos yung k mo is a non-negative integer, meaning positive siya with 0. And as well as ang n mo must not be more than m. So, yun lang naman ang kailangan natin sa mga parameters na to. So, the question, how will we look for the expected value of x? So, ito yung co-compute natin. So, to do this, para mako-compute natin ito, we need the following idea. Ito yung i-compute ko. So, bibigay muna natin kung anong value nito. Yan ang expected value niya na kailangan mo. But we need some techniques na we will be using in order to do the computations. First, we need to prove. I'll just use this as a lemma. Not prove lang pala. Papakita lang natin, i-demonstrate. We need the following. The sum of this product of combinations, B choose J and B choose N minus J, where your J is from 0 to N, is equal to A plus B choose N. So, yan ipapakita natin. Now, to show this, so I'll just use the red color. I want you to know the following. Ito yung dito natin kukunin, yung idea. 1 plus x or x plus 1 na lang para at least yan ang maging pattern natin. X plus 1 raised to a times x plus 1 raised to b is equal to what?
A plus B po na.
A plus b. Salamat. X plus 1 raised to a plus b. So, gawin natin, let's expand. Expand natin to using the binomial theorem na alam natin. So first, yung x plus 1 natin raised to a plus b. So using the binomial theorem, so far alam natin that this is just the sum of a plus b, choose, say r gagamitin natin na variable, x raised to r, where your r is from 0 to a plus b. And let's assume somewhere in the middle, ang r natin from 0, 1, up to say n, not n pala. From a plus b, meron tayong n dyan. So what we are interested is that ano yung coefficient when your r is equal to n. So meaning, hahanapin natin yung coefficient when your r is equal to n. So meaning, this is a plus b, choose n. That's on the left-hand side nito ng expression mo. So what we are looking for, gusto natin, how about on the left-hand side? So anong itsura nun? So let's have the following. So una, x plus 1 raised to a. So using the binomial theorem, this is just the summation, di ba? Meaning, summation lang to ng a choose 0, x raised to the 0. Tapos, ang 1 mo is raised to ano yan? A minus 0. So, it's still 1 plus a choose 1, x raised to the first power, plus a choose 2 raised to the second power. Say hanggang 3, a choose, a choose 2 yan. Raised to the third, and so on. Say hanggang natin, sabihin na lang natin hanggang a choose a. Not a pala. Tama ba? Yeah, hanggang a. X raised to a. So yan ang gusto nating makita hanggang dulo. Okay? So now next. Ganon din si x plus 1 raised to b. So ganon din dito. Not a, b choose 0, x raised to 0, plus a, b choose 1, x raised to the first. So let me finish this. Expressions hanggang b raised to b, x raised to b. So, question, Joshua, you are to multiply these two. Imo-multiply mo ang dalawa na to. And I want to look for, gusto ko lang, ano ang coefficient ng product na yan ng term mo whose x is raised to, say, the third power. So, ano magiging coefficient niya? So again, imumultiply mo tong dalawa na yan. X plus 1 raised to the A times x plus 1 raised to the B. So meaning, try to imagine you are to multiply all of this. Tana, ang lahat yan. Pero i-group mo together kung anong mga excess of the same power. So I'm only interested if my exponent of x is raised to the third power. So ang question, ano ang magiging coefficient niya dyan?
Hmm.
I'll give you a hint. Siyempre, imumultiply mong ito at ito, right? For you to produce an x raised to the third, pero yung coefficient mo is a choose 0 and b choose 3. Yan lang ba? O meron pang iba? That's ang coefficient ng yung x mo is raised to the third pa rin.
Ano yan tapo?
So ano yon? So sulat ko dito ang first coefficient, A choose 0 times B choose 3. That's the first coefficient. So what else?
A choose 0, B choose 3.
X raised to the third, yan na yan. Ang gusto lang natin puro x raised to the third.
A
Sa
choose
anong
1,
sunod?
B choose 2,
Ayun. Ano, again? A choose 1,
B choose 2.
B choose 2. That's correct. Okay, raised to the third. Meron pa ba?
Yes. A choose 2, B choose
So
1.
that's, okay, A choose 2, B choose 1. Meron pa ba?
And A choose 3, B choose 0.
That's correct. A choose 3, B choose 0. X raised to the third. So in other words, what we're saying is that this is just equal to the summation of A choose J, tapos B choose 3 minus J, di ba? Para tama? Times X raised to the third, where your J will run from 0 to 3. Okay? This is on the left-hand side. But on the right-hand side, makikita mo from this expression pa lang, you can right away say kung x raised to the third yan, so 3 din ito, magiging 3 din yan. So now, you can have the following. So this is just equal to yung right-hand side mo, that this is just A plus B choose 3. So, in other words, ganun din yan ito yung magiging parang outcome ng formula mo. Paano mo siya ipoprove. Ayan. So, medyo nakuha mo na, Joshua? Yung idea?
Tama.
Ito yung ipoprove natin, yung expected value ng x natin. Kasi yan ang kailangan natin. So first, take note lang. I want you to take note. Hypergeometric distribution look like this. Ang usual ko yan na ginagawa, add mo tong dalawa, k plus m minus k, this is equal to m. Tapos yung pag-choose mo, n plus n minus x, this is just equal to n. So para to make sure that it is a hypergeometric distribution. So now, let's prove this. Dadagdag lang ako ng additional paper, blank page. Oops, yeah, another blank page. Ay, 35 pages na pala to. So, kaya pala humihina na siya. Okay, so yun. So, expected value of x in a hypergeometric distribution, this is just the summation of x times the hypergeometric distribution natin na k, choose x, tapos m minus k, choose n minus x, over m, choose n. So where your x will run from 0 to n. Alright. Ayan. Ito yung goal. Gusto mong mawala ito, Joshua. Ito, gusto mo yung mawala. Ayan. Mawawala yung x na yan. And whatever the summation on the left, gusto mong magiging parang probability distribution, the sum must be equal to 1. So that's the goal that we will have. First, how can we get rid of the excess? I want you to look at this expression, ang k choose x. So let's define it. What is k? What is k choose x? It's a combination. So what's the formula for this?
K factorial, gawin na mo. Ano ba yung ano?
Tama.
K
Over?
x factorial times quantity of k minus x factorial, I think.
That's correct. So k minus x factor. Very good. Okay. Buti alam mo na yan, bata ka pa. Okay, natutunan ko lang itong calify na you want to get x. Gusto mong isa-separate to si x sa left-hand side. Yan. Sa right-hand side pala. So, magiging x minus 1 factorial yan. Di ba kung kukunin x times x minus 1, sorry, x times x minus 1 factorial is just x factorial. So therefore, that's a case. Pero gusto mo rin i-adjust na ang numerator mo, i-remove mo rin si k dyan. So we will have, let me erase this muna. Yan. So magiging k yan. So this becomes k minus 1 factorial. So kulang na lang yung sa denominator. So denominator, pwede natin gawin, we can rewrite this as follows. K minus 1 minus x minus 1. Quantity factorial. Which is just equal to, ito yun, denominator mo. That is still k minus x. Kasi ang 1 mo at ang positive 1 mo dyan, ka-cancel out together. So that you will end up with a k over x, and you will have the parang written version ng k choose x to k minus 1 choose x minus 1 na siya ngayon. So that's how we will be rewriting this. Una, ito, yung sa numerator mo, ma-rewrite na natin yan. Similarly, ganun din gagawin mo, we will rewrite m choose n. So, i-rewrite mo both of these expressions. So, we will have the following. So, rewrite natin. So, simplify natin to. This becomes the summation of x from 0 to n of x times. So, let's rewrite this as x over k over x. So, magiging k minus 1 choose x minus 1. Ito, pareho pa rin yan ang magiging expression mo. Divided by, so ganun din, rewrite natin yan gaya ng ginawa natin kanina. This becomes actually m over n. Tama ba? M over n. Tama. Okay. M minus 1 choose n minus 1. Okay. So, nare-write na natin yung first two expression. And what is nice here, maka-cancel out mo na si x. Ito, pwede mo yung maka-cancel out si x. So, you can remove x and x. Remember, numerator to Ito nasa numerator. Ito nasa it is also in the numerator. So, cancel out ang dalawang x's. So, no problem with that. And then, you can rewrite this expression. Ito ay magiging n times k over m. So, that's the expression we will have. So, let's rewrite this. Magiging, at wala na siyang x, so pwede mo siyang ilalabas na sa summation. So, you can rewrite this as n times k over m, the summation from x from 0 to n of what is left. K minus 1, x minus 1, m minus k, and n minus x over m minus 1, choose n minus 1. Okay. So question, ito Joshua, anong connection ng ginawa natin kanina sa taas? Ito, paano mo i-apply yung lemma na to to this summation? Yan. So again, I hope you have taken this. Kopyahin mo muna to. Considering this lemma, this summation, that it's equal to the right-hand side. So, paano mo to i-apply ngayon dito? Ayan. So, gagamitin natin yung lemma na yan.
Okay, so add the first muna po na.
Yes.
So, m minus 1 choose n minus 1.
So, therefore,
Oh, that's 1.
that's 1. So, buong ito, ang buong yan, this is just equal to 1. Okay. So, therefore, you are left with n times k over m, which is what we are looking for, sana yon kanina, yung sinulat ko for, ayan. So this is what we're looking for. So ito yung magiging result niya rin. Okay. Now next, ito. The same technique ang gagamitin mo. So I'll give you some few minutes to explore. How about you compute the expected value of x times x minus 1? Meaning, gagawin mo, you are to take the summation of x times x minus 1 times k choose x tapos m minus k n minus x divided by m, oh, sorry, isa yan, m choose n. Okay. So, ang goal mo dito, Joshua, is that you are to cancel out. Iwawala mo to. Iwawala. Maka-cancel out yan ng x times x minus 1. So, I'll give you a few minutes to think about this. So, kung paano mo siya i-compute. Okay.
So, add lang. M yung plus k na. So, in the end, magiging 1 din yung sa last part.
Ang sa last, oh yes. Yun ang goal mo. Dapat ang sa huli, look like yung ginawa natin kanina. Pero the goal is, gusto mo to i-cancel out. So, paano? So, you are to manipulate yung itong dalawa na yan to produce an x times x minus 1. Particularly dito, actually. Dito ka makakaproduce ng x times x minus 1. Remember, meron kang x factorial? Ang
Opo.
x factorial mo is x times x minus 1 times x minus 2 factorial. So, ipoproduce mo itong dalawa na yan.
Yung x times x minus 1, part siya ng x factorial. So,
That's correct. So, pag-isipan mo, ano ka dyan, mag-scratch ka dyan yan.
okay. So, x factorial. So, k factorial over x times x minus 1 times x minus 2 factorial times k minus x factorial.
Okay, sulat ko dito ang itong x, k, choose. Dito na lang pala sa taas konti para at least we have some more space. Yan. K choose x is equal to k factorial over x factorial times the quantity k minus x factorial. So gusto mong ilabas ang x times x minus 1. So magiging, yung una, this is k times k minus 1 times k minus 2 factorial. Kasi ginawa natin sa numerator yan, we have to force na lalabas yung x times x minus 1 times x minus 2 quantity factorial. Para at least yan yung magiging part ng denominator mo. At yung last, ito yung expression na to, ito, ang k minus x factorial, very flexible yan siya kasi you can rewrite this as k minus 2 minus x minus 2 factorial. Kasi pareho lang naman sila. So that's 2 minus 2, minus 2 plus 2 mangyayari. So therefore, maisusulat mo na ito, ang unang expression as k times k minus 1 over x times x minus 1, and this becomes k minus 2 choose x minus 2. So yan ang naging itsura niya. Okay. And you can as well do it in the denominator. So pwede mo rin siyang isusulat sa denominator.
Inisip,
Therefore, this becomes, yes, Joshua.
Hindi ko po naisip na inisip ko na po yung ilalim eh. Kung ano pala, pwede palang i-force sa taas, yung sa k factorial.
No, pwede. That's correct, pwede. Kasi kung isa ilalim mo siya isusulat, you're talking about buying x factorial.
Opo, ilalim na po.
Ayan. Kasi kung mapo-force si x para ma-cancel out yung x and x minus 1. So anong gagawin mo sa taas? So ganun din. So para at least ang matitira si k minus 2 choose x minus 2. So yun ang mangyayari. So you can now picture this out, Joshua, na this becomes now, so isulat natin x minus 1. Ang numerator mo becomes k times k minus 1 over x times x minus 1. So at least nasa denominator siya, we can cancel it out. And you are left with a k minus 2, choose x minus 2, tapos m minus k times n minus x. Ayan. Ganon din sa denominator. This becomes m times m minus 1 over n times n minus 1. And you are left with an m minus 2, choose n minus 2. Okay. So that, again k natin dito, may mga rearrangement ka by the way sa k. Medyo may mga formalities lang tayong gagawin dyan. So that this would end up with, kakancel out to. Sorry. Saan na yan? Pen. Red pen. Ayan. So x minus 1, x minus 1. So you are left with the expression again na ano mangyayari dito? Kasi numerator, so you will have an n times n minus 1 times m minus 1 over k times k minus 1. Tama ba? Yung magiging expression natin. Hindi pala. Mali, baliktad. Erase ko na lang. So, ganun pa rin si k pala natin. K times k minus 1 over m times m minus 1. And ang natitira dito, summation, actually this now becomes, ang di natin pala tinapos dito, may mali lang ako sa pagsusulat ng expression. Joshua, ito, medyo careful lang tayo sa index. Kasi ang index na natin dyan becomes, it starts with 1 na yan. So, it starts with 1 na yan. Okay. And dito, it starts with 2 m. Ano nga tong hanggang saan nga tong expression to n? And then mag-uurong ka lang ng 2 steps for it to be n minus 2. So this becomes k minus 2, choose x minus 2, and m minus k, choose n minus x, over m minus 2, choose n minus 2. So again, anong magiging sum mo dito? Ito yung Joshua. Yan. What is the sum? Equal to?
K minus 2 na. So, m minus 2 over, 1. 1 po.
1 pa rin. Ayan, that's correct. So you end up with an n times n minus 1 times k minus 1 over m times m minus 1. Now, bakit ito yung kinompute natin? Kasi mahirap, di ba, if e raised to x squared, yung expected values ng x squared gagawin natin, mukhang mahirap siya. Unlike ito, meron kang x squared minus x, and this becomes, actually, kung isusulat mo ito, this becomes the expectation of x squared minus x, or this is just equal to the expectation of x squared minus the expectation of x. So that, kung isusulat natin yan, so meaning, if we will write the formula for the variance of x, we are first getting the expectation of x squared. So ito yung kailangan natin. Minus the quantity of the expectation of x. Alam lang natin, we computed for the expectation of x and we computed for the expectation of x times x minus 1. So therefore, kung isusulat natin the expectation ng x times x minus 1, meron ka ng x squared, na sumobra ka kumulang ka ng expectation of x, so kailangan magdadagdag ka ng expectation of x dyan, minus quantity expectation of x squared. Para, substitute mo na lang itong mga formula na na-compute mo kanina. Una, for the expectation of x times, so let's write this down. So para isulat natin. So, ang unang formula natin, n times n minus 1 times k minus 1 over m times m minus 1. That's the first one. Plus, yung na-compute natin kanina na n times k over m. N times k over m minus the quantity of n times k over m quantity squared. So yan ang magiging ano natin, and I'll just simplify. I'll give na lang yung final product, yung algebraic manipulation na lang to. This becomes, it looks like this. So sulat ko siya, Joshua. N times k over big M times m minus k times m minus n over m times m minus 1. So, ito na yung magiging variance mo ng isang random variable which has a hypergeometric distribution. Okay? So in fact, when you are to do the simulation, I think I've shown here the simulation as well of the hypergeometric distribution. So let me run this. Almost, it look like this pa rin. Maganda pa rin yung itsura niya. Maybe let's increase nga ang increase yung number of trials and number of samples. Okay, hindi na siya ganun ka, pala yung yung selection. This is for the hypergeometric distribution compared to the other kanina. So, konti lang yung magiging outcomes niya pala. So, let me write this down again. Ayun. Depende sa number of trials na niraran pala natin. Okay. So now, although ako personally, Joshua, hindi ko pa siya nagagamit in terms of actual data processes. Meaning to say, if there are experiments have been conducted or surveys have been conducted and then magpapa-analyze ng data, hindi ko pa siya nagagamit ng hypergeometric distribution. I always encounter this sa mga common exercises for contests, for exercises to answer a certain problem. Pero sa actual data, hindi ko pa ito na-encounter, yung hypergeometric distribution. Pero
yung uses na.
So sa ngayon, hindi ko pa talaga masasabi anong actual uses niya in the field. Pero so far, ang alam ko lang, when you are to consider yon, yung pagpapartition ng groupings, at create ka ng committee based on this partition, kukuha ka one set dito from this partition, say lalaki, tapos another set para sa babae. Then how many ways can you do the combination of groupings, and then over yung all possible groupings niya, so you will have your probability distribution. So yun lang naman yung ang nagiging experience ko out of that using the hypergeometric distribution. So far, do you have any question with the hypergeometric distribution?
Wala po. Pero ano po siya,
okay.
Sa boss niya sa boss na Herzegovina, ganun po yung government. Magpipili ng
Ayan, tama.
one growth, one serve, and one boss na. Siguro ganun din po yung distribution.
Which is weird kasi ito, kasi kailangan mo medyo magaling ka magaling, alam mo paano mag-manipulate ng mga combinations. It's a combinatorial problem, itong hypergeometric distribution. For example, if you know, alam mo naman yung mga properties ng Pascal's triangle, right? Like, halimbawa, say for example, di ba, if this is your Pascal triangle, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1. So, alam natin, ito yung mga coefficients din ng inyong, ano to? Binomial expansion. So, in this case, halimbawa, hanggang 6, 4, 1 tayo. So, for example, the first one, this is just x raised to the 0. The second one, this is just x plus y. So, meaning to say, sorry, not x raised to the 0 pala. X plus y raised to the 0 plus y raised to the 0. Ito naman x plus y raised to the 1 kasi magiging x plus y na lang siya. And ito naman, you will have x plus y squared. Kaya ang coefficient mo, x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. So kaya 1 to 1. Tapos x plus y raised to the third. So magiging x cubed plus 3x squared y plus 3xy squared plus y cubed. Tapos yung last dito, x raised to the fourth. So meron ka ng x raised to the fourth plus 4x raised to the third y plus 6x squared y squared plus 4xy ano to? Cube plus y raised to the fourth. Ayan. And all of this, ang mga notations mo dito are all just actually combinatorial ng mga expression. The first one is 0 to 0. The second one is 1 to 0. This is 1 choose 1. Tapos ito naman 2 choose 0, 2 choose 1. This is just 2 choose 2. Tapos this becomes 3 choose 0. So tapusin ko lang to hanggang sa last na ano. For a 3 choose 1. This is 3 choose 2. Tapos ito naman 3 choose 3. Tapos this is 4 choose 0. 4 choose 1. 4 choose 2. 4 choose 3. And 4 choose 4. In fact, when you add, say for example, 4 choose 0 plus 4 choose 1 plus 4 choose 2 plus 4 choose 3 plus 4 choose 4. This is just 2 raised to the fourth. It's a property of actually counting din the cardinality kung gaano karami yung set mo na apat yung laman. Say yung A mo, it's composed of 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's another formula. In general, actually, magiging summation ito of n choose r, where your r is from 0 to n. This is just 2 raised to the n. So another property ng combination. Another property na napapansin mo, di ba, you will have like 1 plus 2 is equal to 3 in this case. Or say 1 plus 3 is equal to 4, or 3 plus 3 is equal to 6. Kasi meron din siyang parang property that look like this. So, n minus 1, choose r as r minus, gawin ko lang n pala. Gawin ko siyang n, choose r minus 1 plus n choose r is equal to n choose, let me see, baka mali ako. R minus 1. Ayan. N plus 1 choose R minus 1. Or parang pangit siya. Ano ko lang. Gawin ko lang may much better expression. So another property is n choose n minus 1, n choose R plus n choose R plus 1 is just equal to n plus 1 choose R. Let me see. Plus 1. Choose R ba? Or choose R plus 1. Sorry. R plus 1 pala siya. Sorry. So, R plus 1. Ayan. So, May mga properties ganito na makikita mo combinatorially in your uh, um, Pascal's triangle at puro combination yan. And this involves the binomial theorem. So kaya what is interesting is kailangan mo siyang parang i-master in order to really to do some computations in combinatorics, yung mga combinatorial problem, even in this case, sa example natin, yung hypergeometric distribution, which requires some background in combinatorics. Okay? So,
Opo.
yun. I think you read more on that, or I believe nabasa mo na nga siya. Pero baka may dadagdag ka na nalimutan ko ng mga properties, Joshua. May naalala ka pa ba na properties?
Yung diagonally po, po siya, yung simplex number. Kumaga 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, line lang po na. Tapos yung 1, 2, 3, 4 yung mga natural numbers and 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 6 something. Triangular numbers.
No, tama.
Sa pyramidal numbers po.
That's correct. Yung mga tama. Kung napanood mo yung may Veritasium discussion about the binomial, actually, it's about on how to compute pi. May diniscuss doon sila na noong unang panahon, to compute the pi, all you have to do is to inscribe and superscribe or circumscribe a regular polygon. Tapos compute mo lang yung mga yung circumference nila, then you can estimate the pi in between. And ito nawala na when it was Isaac Newton where was able to do the computation. And at this time, looking at the property of the Pascal's triangle, when extending it, in-extend niya, how about kung negative ang Pascal triangle? How about kung nasa right-hand side naman yung mga values, extend mo yung mga values niya. So these are some interesting properties sa Pascal triangle na pwedeng look at when we have future computations. Okay. So lastly, in my discussion today with you, ito yung paborito kong distribution when it comes to discrete distribution. Siyempre, maliban sa binomial distribution, is the Poisson distribution.
Poisson distribution. PD, ano pa? May pangalan po yan na sa
Yung mathematician?
may certain po. Hindi ba may parang may special name siya sa chemistry. Kasi ginagamit siya.
So yeah. Actually, ang pangalan niya to, it's si Simeon Denis Poisson. Marami siyang field eh. Alam ko not only mathematics, physics, meron din siyang ginagawa sa physics, electrothermodynamics. At sa chemistry, hindi ako familiar kung anong ginagawa niya, pero I believe meron din. Tama. Okay, so, by the way, I think, narinig mo ba ako kanina, Joshua? Parang nakat.
Narinig po.
Ayan, okay. So now, let's quickly discuss what is the Poisson distribution. So ang Poisson distribution natin look like this. It has a function, f of x, at isa lang yung parameter niya. Let's call the parameter lambda. And ang lambda natin later is a positive real number. So I'll just write this down as positive real number. So greater than 0. So this is positive real number. Such that it look like this, ang formula. E raised to negative lambda, lambda raised to x over x factorial. Where your x, mga x's mo dito, will start from 0, 1, 2, and up to infinity. So meaning to say, this is just actually an example na, I think ito yung pinakauna-unang example natin, that your x will now take a random variable whose ang mga values niya will be infinity. This will be from 0 to infinity na tayo. 0, 1, 2, up to infinity. So discrete pa rin tayo. And ang napaka-interesting about the Poisson distribution, let me show you anong itsura ng Poisson distribution. So let us simulate it here in MATLAB. So let's consider lambda 5 and our sample is 1,000. It look like this. Ayun. Pero napapansin mo, hindi siya perfectly na parang bell shape. I think let's babaan ko si lambda. Gawin ko siyang 2.5, say for example. Or I'll run this again. Ayun. Maybe let's increase the sample to 10,000. Tingnan natin. Ayun. So napapansin mo, ang Poisson distribution mo medyo geared towards, ano siya, skewed to the right. So meaning, mas marami yung mababang values than pakonte na yan sa taas. So meaning there's an inflation of smaller values. Napaka-useful to kasi because this is used in application to count data kung nagbibilang ka. For example, if you're counting the number of responses over a period of time. Say for example, may ginawa kang video and then in-upload mo sa YouTube or in-upload mo sa sa Facebook, and then halimbawa sikat ka na vlogger, and then you are interested as to what's the mean time of response ng mga nagsasubscribe sa akin. So you will be using the Poisson distribution to look at the count data na kung saan yung time na maraming mga responses yung nagre-respond. That's one. Or the Poisson distribution is also interested with counting number of calls over a period of time. So if you're working on a call center and if you want to say model the period na kung saan ba yung maraming calls, ano na time, and then I want to record this data. So how will I model the data? So they're using the Poisson distribution. So these are some examples where the Poisson distribution is applicable because says of the property na number one, you're dealing with counting. Nagbibilang ka ilang beses, say number of calls as mentioned kanina, and so on and so forth. Second, may time element siya kasi mamaya, if we have enough time pa, there's a theorem na kung saan it would give you an idea na if may time element at nagbibilang ka, Poisson distribution is the best distribution to model your data set. So ito yun siya, yung itsura ng distribution that we are dealing with. So the question is, so kung ito yung Poisson distribution natin, what do you think would be the mean and variance of the Poisson distribution? So I want you right now in your seat or situation right now, I want you to compute for the moment generating function nito muna kasi mas mabilis siya to do the computation if you're dealing with the moment generating function of this distribution. Okay, compute mo muna a moment generating function and tell me what it is.
So the integral of
Ano to siya? Discrete pa rin. So summation pa rin siya, Joshua.
summation
Ah,
summation of
summation of
e to the negative lambda to the x over x factorial tapos times e to the t of x.
kasi unahin ko lang t of x times e raised to negative lambda raised to x over x factorial, where your x, so need natin from 0 to positive infinity. Okay, so paano mo to i-analyze yung summation na to?
First of all, pwede siguro maano na e to the ano po na e to the quantity tx minus lambda lambda x over x factorial. Uh, hmm,
Sige, anong ka muna? Try to imagine paano siya i-simplify. I'll give you a hint. Anong pwede mong ilabas sa summation na wala na siyang ang summation mo is of index x. So anong yung expression na pwede mo na siyang ilabas kasi wala siyang index na x?
e to the negative lambda.
So that's right. So ilalabas ko siya sa summation. So matitira sa loob ito na yung may power ng x. So we can combine this. E raised to t lambda quantity raised to x over x factorial. Ayan. Okay, what's next?
Uh,
I'll give you a hint. Taylor series expansion.
oh, e to the negative lambda times, paano kasi yun? E to the, times lambda is over x factorial.
Familiar ka ba sa Taylor series expansion ng exponential?
Oh, wait lang ako.
For example, ito, I'll make this in red. E raised to, say, y. Anong Taylor series expansion nito?
Oh, e to the y. Ano yata yun, ah?
So, pwede mo hanapin mo ngayon sa internet.
Pwede
Taylor series expansion of e raised to something. Say, a raised to x or e raised to y.
1 over 0 times x over 1 times x squared. Plus, hindi pala. Plus x squared data over.
Oh,
Tapos gano'n hanggang
over 2 factorial plus x raised to the
0.
third over 3 factorial. So that is the summation of y raised to, say, sabihin natin r over r factorial, where your r is from 0 to infinity. Yan. So, paano mo siya gagamitin yan dito?
Obvious na po na pwedeng ilabas yung ano. So, pwede
Okay,
ko
so, yan.
it's e to the t times the summation of e to the x. Ay,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
E raised to,
E raised to the x times e raised to t. Siguro. Lambda, ay,
ang ginamit natin dito, maybe, medyo ano lang, ano to?
e raised to,
Confusing lang kasi gumamit tayo ng r dyan. Ito, gumamit tayo ng x dyan.
e raised to lambda po na.
E
F
raised to lambda,
plus t.
hindi pa siya plus t, kundi e raised to t din. Kasi
Okay.
ito yung y mo sa loob.
Okay. So ano po na? So, naka-exponent na siya. Okay.
Yan. So weird na expression doon. First time mo ba to na-encounter yung e raised to e? na ganon.
O nga po na, parang it never occurs.
So e raised to negative lambda times e raised to lambda e raised to t. So you can simplify this. Common base, e raised to?
Lambda quantity e to the t minus 1.
Ayan, tama. That's very good. So this is now your moment generating function. I want you to get the first derivative, evaluate it para ma-compute mo ang first moment. So meaning compute for e of x. This is just the first derivative of your moment generating function with respect to t. Evaluate mo siya at t equals 0. So what is this? And ganun din, what is the second derivative of this? Tapos, the second derivative of your moment generating function, evaluate at t equals 0. So, can you give me the answer? So, ayan. Ito na yung kukunan mo ng ang mx of t mo. Ayan.
Una,
So, compute from this.
wait. Wala naman po, ano na, yung constant wala siya. So,
Mm-hmm.
ay, e to the t minus 1 times lambda times e to the lambda times et minus 1. Mabababa kaya yung lambda. I don't think so. Wait lang.
Sige, yan na lang. Sketch ka lang muna ng solution mo dyan. May papel ka naman dyan, Joshua, no? Or any way to write your solution. So, ito lang yung i-compute mo. Yan. Para ilagyan ko lang ng box. Yan.
Ah. Uh, with respect to T, isip. Kasi may chain rule na. So, wait lang po. So, sa labas muna, kasama ba yung lambda?
Mm-hmm.
So, lambda times quantity e to the t minus 1
Mm-hmm.
times e to the t, kasi may ano doon sa loob. Ay, t e to the t times t e to the t times e to the lambda of at e to the lambda times quantity e to the t minus 1.
Kung
Uh,
evaluate mo na siya with t equals 0, that's equal to what?
so, so lambda times e to the 0. So, t equals 0, that's 1 minus 1, 0. Wala na yun. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
whoa. When t is 0, e to the t is 1, and then times minus 1, that's 0.
Mm-hmm. Pero take note, don't forget, Joshua, kung mag-evaluate ka ng derivative ng exponential, di ba ang exponential, kahit ano pang derivative mo, hindi yan mawawala. By chain rule, yung exponent lang yung kinukunan mo ng derivative and take the product.
Abo.
So in this case, if you are to take, compute natin na, so let us write this down, kukunin mong derivative niyan. Yan. So therefore, andyan pa rin yung e raised to lambda, e raised to t minus 1. So kokopyahan lang natin. Times the derivative of the numerator by chain rule. So therefore, you will end up with lambda times e raised to t, kasi derivative ng e raised to t is e raised to t pa rin, derivative of negative 1 is of course 0. So ito na lang siya. Then evaluate this with t equals 0. So you end up with what? Ano magiging answer?
The lambda times e to the lambda e to the t lang po. Kasi yung sa taas.
Pero lambda, ang t mo 0 yan.
Abo, so
0 siya.
so lambda lang.
0 ang t.
Lambda lang po.
Lambda na lang. That's correct. So lambda na lang. That's correct. How about the second derivative? Oh, meron ka ng first derivative, nakikita mo on the screen. So magpa-product rule ka dito. So kukunin mo naman ang derivative with respect to t nito.
So yung una po
And
ulit.
then evaluate at 0.
Yan mismo po. Pero, so e to the lambda times quantity e to the t minus 1 plus
Mm-hmm.
times the lambda squared e t squared. Basta yung last na po na square na. Kasi may product rule.
In-square mo na. Sige, sulat natin. E raised to lambda, e raised to t minus 1. Tapos, ito yung kukunan mo ng derivative. So, magiging lambda squared, e raised to the square of that. So, magiging e raised to 2t. Plus. So, anong i-plus natin?
Siya na naman. E to the lambda quantity e to the t minus 1 times lambda t e to the t.
Ayan, that's correct. Then, evaluate this at t equals 0. So, what is this equal to?
So,
Ito ko lang yung sala.
1 times 0 naman, lambda squared plus 1 times lambda squared plus lambda.
Yeah, that's correct. So, yun na. So, therefore, we can now compute for the variance. So, variance natin again is equal to e of the second moment and the square of the first moment. Ayan. So, substitute mo lahat-lahat. This is equal to what?
Lambda squared plus lambda minus lambda squared. So that's just lambda.
Lambda na lang. Well, actually, ito lang yung distribution na alam ko na ang mean at ang variance pareho.
Kasi
So,
pwede
pareho yung mean mo.
naman reverse engineer po na. The only
Ah,
variance na, let's say, variance is lambda nga, tapos an expectation is lambda rin. So, the mean,
that's correct.
ako parang i-reverse engineer na make sure na the only possible way, talagang ito yata po yung only possible way kasi siya lang naman yung magiging such that the variance formula will become lambda as well.
That's right. So sa ngayon, ito yung ano natin, I will stop my discussion now with Poisson distribution. Sa sunod natin na na discussion, I want to introduce all of the possible distributions that you will be facing in the future. Ito yung mga una, the mga discrete distribution. Ang next, of course, the geometric in the negative binomial. So tapos na tayo sa discrete distribution. Yung sunod nito, I'll be introducing the normal distribution. So, ang normal distribution natin, so let me pinpoint this in. I-note ko na lang to, medyo advance ko lang siya. So, note natin is that we will be dealing sa sunod, yung tinatawag na normal distribution. Pero normal distribution, so this is a continuous distribution, or you're dealing with a random variable which is continuous. Tapos may dalawa kang parameters to consider, the mu and the sigma. Ito na yung mean and the standard deviation. So ang formula nito is just 1 over square root of 2 pi sigma, sa labas yan, e raised to negative 1 half of x minus mu over sigma quantity squared. So ito yung formula ng tinatawag natin na normal distribution that looks like this, parang bell-shaped curve. So ito yung function mo that you will be dealing with in the future. Number one, ang next natin na parang itong highlight ng pagko-compute ng normal distribution. How will you show if you integrate, ang x pala natin dito are all real numbers yan ha. So if you integrate from negative infinity to positive infinity ng 1 over square root of 2 pi sigma e raised to negative 1 half of x minus mu over sigma quantity squared, ipapakita mo siya na it's equal to 1.
It's crazy.
And I think, I don't know, napanood mo ba, Joshua, yung pelikula na Gifted?
Yes, oo. Yung babae na.
Alala mo yung may pinasolve doon sa kanya sa blackboard?
Yes, oo.
Ito yon. Actually, ipoprove mo na it is a probability distribution na it's equal to 1. Ito yung pinrove niya. So I want you to look for the proof of this kasi maybe by next meeting pwede na natin to i-discuss kung paano siya ipapakita ng proof nito it's equal to 1. It involves kasi ang tinatawag nating change of variable. Hindi tayo mag-work on a Cartesian coordinate system, kundi mag-work on tayo sa polar coordinate system. So para to prove that this is actually equal to 1.
Okay, yun po.
Ayun. So for now, so that's it. Joshua, I will end my class right now. So meron ka pa bang tanong na you want to ask?
Wala na po.